Mega Coin Squad!
Hello everyone and welcome to Mega Coin Squad, and I love this game so much. We're going to be playing as Mikey because he is the all-around character, has the most balanced stats. So this game is a rather unique platformer. The idea is to collect enough coins to fill up the piggy bank, and when you do, you finish the stage. The platforms themselves are randomly generated. Sorry, not randomly generated. There's a set number of platforms, but the order in which they generate and where they generate is random. Our character is armed with a dashing charge that we can do anywhere in the air, a basic jump, and a wall jump. The mid-air movement in this game feels fantastic. I can't think of many other games that give you this much control over your movement in the air. If we manage to collect enough coins to fill up the piggy bank without getting hurt or running out the timer, and we deposit it all in one go, we get a perfect. And this game is going to be a perfect run of all of the stages. In between stages we can get power-ups from this wheel. It's as simple as jumping when we see the power-up we want. We're going to want to get all the upgrades to our character first and worry about weapons and items later. The most important thing is to have our character as powerful as possible. Movement is the key to everything in this game. Upgrading the dash means that we can break through more blocks with it than before. Does this game look super stylish or what? It's got that Game Boy Advance kind of Nintendo polished style. Looks very pretty. So although the platforms in the stages are randomly chosen, each stage has its own set of platforms, as well as mixes of platforms we've seen previously. Those purple enemies just shoot something out of their face. Very easy to jump over, very easy to kill. It's much easier to kill enemies with weapons, but we also have a basic attack of our own in the form of a fireball. We can upgrade that too, so it passes through multiple blocks and enemies, making it far more useful. There's sometimes where you have to wait briefly for new platforms to spawn in, though the wait is not usually too long, and the stages get difficult enough later that you don't really have to worry about it. For all intents and purposes, Green Valley is just baby mode. Oh dear. Nothing you encounter in these early stages is going to be too difficult, though as you saw, overconfidence can kill you pretty quickly. The assault rifle is the most straightforward weapon. It fires rapidly and it fires either left or right. Really no special gimmicks to it. Even the most basic weapon is usually better than your fireball, though. We can't go downward with much force because we haven't upgraded our downward dash yet. We can only break one block at a time. Which means we can't get coins as fast as we'd like to, but we'll change that soon. I like how many mechanics there are in play at once, and yet it's all so simple in action. I like that thing vomiting rainbows in the background. That in particular is pretty cool. This game has a multiplayer mode, which makes it more of a party game, but I think it's just as satisfying to play in single player because of how all the mechanics work together. You've got the satisfying feeling that comes from destroying enemies, and the satisfying feeling that comes from collecting massive amounts of loot. And the sound effects are so good. Even the menu select sounds are really nice. Just pleasant to listen to. Makes you feel satisfied for triggering them. But yes, I would say this is a game all about satisfaction. Everything you do is meant to make the player feel very satisfied. You collect coins in massive amounts, you blow apart walls. And the way you can move around in the air, as I stated previously, is insanely fluid. Everything about this game is designed to make you feel as good as possible. When you're doing well, that is. This level introduces flying enemies. The way I recommend to deal with them is to simply dash up and down and let them dive under or above you, right in the path of your dash. These early flying enemies are really no big deal. You can go about your normal business without thinking too much about them. Now that we have the downward dash, or the upgraded downward dash, that's going to be a big help. Because in the early stages, dashing up and down constantly is how you get most of your coins. The platforms do not yet have protection to your upward and downward dashes, so you can just blow right through them like that. You can see to our right, there's a platform that does have protection from below. That's going to be a lot more frequent. But for now, the hit and run strategy we've developed works just fine. Although this game is published by Adult Swim Games, as you saw, it's pretty straightforward, pretty kid-friendly. Your first impression is what you get, so if you're expecting some sort of weird twist, this is not the game for you. That doesn't mean it's not amazing, though, because it definitely is. At the end of every world, we meet a stage where our task is simply to destroy all of the enemies. Now, these stages aren't nearly as satisfying as the regular ones, I find, but they're still pretty fun. Also, maybe a bit more difficult. At least later. This is really a piece of cake. We can kill enemies by jumping on them as well, as you just saw, but I don't recommend doing that because it's inferior to every other method of attack. But yeah, everything so far relatively harmless, pretty easy. That's gonna change very quickly. This isn't a long game, so the difficulty ramps up fast. And that's everything for World 1. That's one of 4 worlds. Like I said, it's a short game. I think it's totally worth it, though. Especially if you play through it with every character. So I'll see you around.